Hi, I'm Dustin, and today we are going to do some driving impressions on the 2023 IS 300. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to check out some more Lexus and automotive related content that we have on our channel, and we'll get right into it. So today we have the 2023 IS 300 in the F Sport Series 2 package with the beautiful ultrasonic blue metallic. This is the ultrasonic blue 2.0. The first version of this paint color was actually on the very famous Lexus LFA from the late 2010s or whatever the year was when that car came out. This particular model is around the 57,000 mark here in Canada when decked out the way that we have this one. And I wanted to see if it makes a really good commuter car, what the handling is like. It doesn't have the IS 350 engine, but the IS 300 engine itself is still pretty powerful and still pretty fun and reliable. So let's get into a little bit of the styling here. With the new redesign that we saw just in the last couple years, we have some new tweaks to things. One being on this package, I love that the grille is almost like a piano black, and same with the surrounding of it. We have some really nice body lines that sort of venture away from that grille, especially on the hood. It's gonna be hard to see on camera, but we have a swooping line that sort of wraps around to the front, as well as one that sort of goes straight to the front. So we have one curve and one straight angle that, again, makes that front end look a little bit beefier than the last model design. Then we have the new style of daytime running lights where the signature lighting is on top of the headlight instead of below it. It's a little bit more frosted, a little bit more bright, I would think, than the previous model, which is nice. And since it's the F Sport Series 2, we just have one of the bi-LED headlights, where the higher packages you can get like the triple, which is kind of nice. Okay, so taking a look under the hood, we have a 3.5 liter V6 with around 260 horsepower, 230 pound-feet of torque, which is a little bit smaller than the IS 350, which is more like over 300 horsepower. But very tried and true design, super clean looking under there. We have a little bit of an intake on top of sort of the bumper there. A lot of what you see is covered over for sure. A little bit of a Lexus decoration here, and they kind of went with that gray and black theme as well. And actually with the blue paint color, I think under the hood is where it looks the coolest, because you can see on these strut towers, we see that blue, and I don't know, I just really like when cars are a cool color for that exact reason. When you look under the hood, there's a little bit of contrast there instead of just being all black, all white, all silver, etc. And like I said, it's a very reliable V6 engine that I don't know how much longer they're gonna make. So definitely check it out while it's still here. In terms of silhouette and styling on the side, we have these sort of black gunmetal F Sport wheels that I do really like. I always go back and forth whether I like the F Sport Series 3 BBS wheels or these ones better. They're both great. Some blacked out mirrors, still some chrome on the side, which, if I'm being honest, I would like to see that disappear on this. I think the black and blue looks nice enough that we don't need too much chrome on the side, but I mean, to each their own, and some people probably do still really love that. And then towards the back, we have a little bit more beefiness too. So like this body line here, the rear fender does curve out quite a bit. And actually even the gas door has a curve to it, which you don't see too many times in a lot of cars. I really like that. And on the back, we have a blacked out spoiler with the new taillight that goes from left to right, and a little bit of diffusion at the bottom there. And you can still see some exposed exhaust as well. And now for startup, one little Easter egg that the IS has is when you put your foot on the brake, the start-stop button does like a heartbeat, because it's the heart of the car, I guess. So inside, pretty quiet cabin. However, it does have a little switch to my left called the ASC, Active Sound Control, where it'll pipe in a little bit of that engine noise into the cabin, probably through the speakers, to give you a little bit more of that driving experience. I honestly leave that on full blast all the time. The IS is one of those cars that needs to be driven to be appreciated, so let's go for a drive. Okay, so some driving impressions of the IS 300. And what better way than to start off with some acceleration. So I'm just gonna sort of get up to speed here. So right now I have the ASC, so the active sound control on at the moment. So that's why hopefully you can hear it in the camera, just a little bit extra of the sort of intake noise. It's not necessarily exhaust noise, it's more just like the engine intake, which, yeah, even for the 300 sounds really good. And the IS 500, by the way, sounds even better because of that V8. When you start driving, there's a couple things to note. The big elephant in the room that everybody talks about on the internet is there's a little hump kind of by my right leg. I'm 6'1", and I don't even know that it's there because the way my leg works is I'm sort of like sitting over top of it. So even right now, kind of just cruising my leg, really the only contact point I have is there's a little pad right here, actually. And I know when Straight Pipes did a review on it, they said that'd be nice for the track because your knee has somewhere to sort of rest up against. Which I didn't notice until they pointed out that, oh, my leg does kind of rest on that little pad there, which is kind of nice. Another big takeaway is it feels very close to me. Like, for being a four-door sedan, I can almost reach that door. And the IS was supposed to be sort of like a coupe that turned into a four-door. Like, it's like a four-door with the personality of a coupe. And that's why everything is a little bit smaller, a little bit skinnier, even like a two-door car. In terms of the appointments, we have some matte black, we have the really cool climate control that you kind of just slide up and down like that. That new screen that's closer, so it's touch, as well as the mouse pad. So you get best of both worlds there, which is really nice. For the time being, I think that's a really cool way to do it. I'm actually just gonna adjust my seat a little bit. Also, we have the TFT display that moves over, just like the LFA, and it's actually called the LFA-inspired TFT display. And when we move it over, it opens up a few other features and stuff that you can see. Sometimes while driving you can change it. Range and G-force, which because it's a little bit sporty of a car, it's nice to be able to like see your G-force and have some fun with that. Overall, super quiet cabin. So we're going about 70 kilometers an hour right now. And it's just quiet, it's nice. The handling is super tight. I'm in normal mode right now. The F-Sport 2 doesn't have Sport Plus, but it's still very quick, nimble, especially around some corners. I should have taken it on like a really windy road for you guys to see, but even on camera, you can tell there's not much body roll. You point the car, it goes that way. And in Canada, all of these are all-wheel drive pretty much, so. You know, there's not like a different mode for that or anything. It's just all-wheel drive all the time. Maybe we'll do another little acceleration up through here. Just gonna slow down a little bit. And kind of a rolling acceleration. Let's see, 3, 2. So a little bit of a delay there. And with these engines, and this goes for a lot of Lexus cars and SUVs, it's sort of in the low RPM range. It's very subtle. It's not super torquey. It's good for driving and commuting and in the city. But then if you wanted to get some power and you rev it up, I'm just gonna use the paddles to get there. So if we wanted to keep this above the 4,000 mark, that's sort of where most of that power band is. On the 300, it's not as much for sure. You get into that 350 or the 500, the IS 500, and you see a lot more of that personality at that higher rev range. Even on the V8, it's not very low torque, it's more high torque. So that's pretty cool because then it's like, you know, not super aggressive when you don't want it to be, but when you want it to turn it on, it goes, which is really nice. Okay, another few cool things to mention. In 2023, in this day and age, it's nice to have actual buttons. I know that sounds silly because a lot of car manufacturers are getting rid of buttons to make it just more, I guess, clean looking, but we have heated and cooled seats, a heated steering wheel, all actual buttons, so it's like, you don't have to go through any screens, you can just touch them. Same with the climate control, like I can turn it on and off right from these actual buttons here. In the drive modes, we have, to the right here, I have sport mode, which I can put it in, and it does make that throttle a little peppier, and it holds the gears a little longer too, and I can hear a little bit more of that fake engine noise when I put it in sport. Eco makes everything feel a little sluggish to save on fuel. There is a snow mode there as well, and also I should mention, when you change those modes, it changes that tachometer as well. It changes sort of the way that gauge cluster looks. This one doesn't tighten up any suspension because it's not the one with Sport Plus. Sport Plus would tighten up that suspension, but when they redesigned this car a couple years ago, they made that suspension really tight anyway. And that was part of the Shimoyama racetrack that Lexus built with Toyota to be able to test cars a little bit more rigorously and get a more driving experience. That's what Lexus wanted to do in the last couple of years, is introduce more of a driving experience instead of just that soft, subtle car that they've sort of gotten used to. Okay, couple flaws with the interior. I would say the fact that I'm 6'1" and that this is a sedan that's pretending to be a coupe is I have a big, I don't know if you can see it, my B pillar to my left is sort of right where my head is, which I guess would be probably safer in the case of an accident or something, but it is there, it's in my peripherals a little bit, where if this was a true two-door, that probably wouldn't be the case, or if it was a bigger sedan, maybe that wouldn't be the case either. But it's not a big deal unless you are checking your blind spot. I can actually, when I check my blind spot, I can actually see out the rear window very easily because it's really close, it's right there. Like I said, the actual seating position feels great, the armrests, everything. It's sportier, for sure. It's not a big luxury sedan, but it feels good. And this white interior is absolutely gorgeous. It's the F Sport Series white. I would be afraid to sit in here with jeans. Probably I would get leather protection if I were to buy a light interior like this, just so I don't have to worry about it. But this one is a brand new car, and I'm wearing a suit, so it should be fine. It does just brighten up that interior so much. It looks absolutely gorgeous. This configuration on the steering wheel is the older Lexus style, which I love because watch this. If you want to put it in cruise control, you just use that little lever here. You don't have to press buttons or think about it. It's very, very intuitive because it's been the same since like 1991, and it's just super easy to use. If I want to speed up, I can just use that lever to speed up. A little screen will pop up, tell me what speed I'm going. And then the radar is right above that. So you can actually just adjust that radar cruise, turn the lane departure on and off. I always leave it on. And then if I want to cancel it, I can just pull it towards me. So that's really nice. The little arrows to the right is mostly going to be for your music and that sort of thing. And the arrows to the right are going to be for the screen, and the arrows to the left are going to be for your music, the volume up, the volume down, skip track, all that stuff. The paddles feel really good. I can't really tell. I think they're plastic. I don't think they're metal. Same with like the signals and stuff like that. Those are made of plastic. Same with the wipers. We have the little voice command and also answer and hang up your phone as well on that steering wheel. The leather feels good. It's a little beefier than the non-F Sport models. There's a little bit of perforation, a little bit of grip, a little bit of substance there. And then the top is a smooth leather. Nice Lexus F Sport emblem on the bottom. The emblem in the center is definitely, it feels like it's aluminum, I think. So pretty classic. They haven't changed that a whole lot over the years. So there you have it, the IS 300 F Sport Series 2 in the ultrasonic blue color. I would say this car is for someone who doesn't care as much about the horsepower, because the 350 and 500 definitely have a more fun driving experience for the power part. Now the handling and smoothness still make this car an absolute beauty for commuter or as a daily driver, because it's also super reliable. So thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Remember to hit like and subscribe for more Lexus related content, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video, what you think of the car, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.